Welcome to At Issue. My name is H. Wayne Wilson, and it will be no surprise to you that we're going to be talking about how the state budget, or lack thereof, is affecting education. But this time it's going to be on the community college level. There are 39 community college districts in the state of Illinois, and they all face financial constraints because of the lack of a state budget. For instance, Eastern Illinois Community College District is instituting unpaid holidays. Parkland Community College, an increase in tuition of 11.7%. And down at John A. Logan, which is down in Carterville, down by Carbondale, they are laying off 55 faculty and staff. These are not good numbers, and to have a discussion about that, I've invited the presidents of 3 Central Illinois community colleges to discuss what is happening locally. First, let me introduce you to Bruce Budde. Bruce is the interim president of Illinois Central College. Bruce, thank you for being here. Across the table is Rob Widmer. Rob is the president of Heartland Community College in Bloomington-Normal. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And Dr. Lori Sundberg is here.
Thank you.
She is the president of Carl Sandburg Community College in Galesburg. So before we get into specifics, I'd like your opinion where we're going as community colleges. Just in broad strokes, where are we going as community college education in Illinois because of the budget constraints? Can you, and I know I'm asking you to predict the future, yes. but you certainly have given thought to what kinds of programs, what kind of services, what is our role, because funding for community colleges has been shrinking over time. It's not just the last year.
Sure. You know, and we look at it, it's kind of a double-edged sword in a sense. Obviously a challenge because of the lack of funding and reduced funding, but also an opportunity because of the role that we play in our communities and within the state itself. The community college is the best economic driver for development within local and within the state. And we fit such a critical role for access and affordability to education. And so we don't want anything to compromise that. And I know that we look, and my colleagues do, we look long term in how we manage our operations and how we deliver those services to the community. We try to have an ear to the community, an ear to our workforce demands and needs, also our transfer institutions if they're transferring to other four-year organizations. Very important for us to understand how we can deliver that. And I think we have a history of being the most efficient delivery model to do that at the lowest cost point and very successfully as well. So I think it's a unique place that we're in as we continue to kind of look at what we can do with the resources we have and continue to be very efficient in delivery of that. So we're definitely well positioned to be that access point for higher ed in our communities.
And I think we're unique in our respect of being a comprehensive community college. We have a variety of constituents that we serve, from the student who wants to transfer to a four-year institution to what we refer to as career and technical programs, where they're coming to us and then with the intent of securing training and then going out immediately into the workforce. We have adult education programs for those students who need developmental work, English second language, and that's been a considerable funding issue this past year as well. Developmental courses for students who may not have come to us with fully prepared for the college experience. So it's a challenge of trying to manage all of those different responsibilities and interests that we have in the most cost-effective way, and to continue to look at how can we deliver those as Bruce says, in an efficient manner.
And over at Carl Sandburg?
Same thing for us. They both have spoken to the value of community colleges and what we do best. The challenge, I think, and we talked about this earlier a little bit, is outside of us. It's funding. That's the challenge. We know that we're efficient. We know that we can provide college education at a very affordable price. But funding's an issue. Population decline, huge issue facing us going forward as well. That's happening pretty much south of I-80, and that affects all of us in terms of the number of high school graduates that will be coming to us.
And specifically, you talk about a loss of income. How much money have you lost, say, in the last decade?
Sure. Since 2007, we've lost 70% of our funding. We've lost 90% of our equalization funding. Our equalization used to be more than our base aid, and it was 2.6 million, and last year we received 500,000. So it's been dramatic, the loss of funding. And that's just been through declining enrollment, but it's also been the shifting of our equalization. Equalization used to be a funding formula that helped colleges that were in the southern part of the state or less populated areas. It kind of equalized their funding, hence the name. But because everyone's kind of in the same boat, it's been the same pot, but divided over more colleges. So it's been a huge decline.
And Lori mentioned the drop in potential students because high school, in the southern two-thirds of the state, high school graduation rates are static. I mean, the number of and you're bound for the most part by geographical boundaries.
Right.
So how serious is the decline in enrollment?
Well, I think we're all very, very conscious of that, the potential student demographic that is stabilized or declining, and looking at how do we address that? How do we respond to that? We've looked at dual credit programs, what we at our institution call College Now programs, to introduce ourselves into the high school experience, to have them have the college experience at a younger, earlier in their career, develop those pathways and get them thinking about higher education at an earlier stage. And so that's one opportunity to help develop. We're also looking from a couple of perspectives to internationalize our student body to some degree through international programs and looking at international opportunities to develop relationships abroad and allow students to come to us, get that experience from us, and actually then continue on to four-year institutions in many cases. And that has twofold. It's one, it is an additional revenue stream for us, but it also has a very important effect of adding a cultural element to the whole educational experience and giving students exposure to some diversity across our institution.
In fact, you have an exchange program with China?
We have two programs with China, and we've reached out to other countries as well to have not only student exchanges, but also faculty exchanges to bring scholars here to help with teaching coursework here in Chinese languages, as well as us sending faculty to China.
And you were going to add, Lori?
Yeah, we have the same strategy as Heartland, exactly. We're looking for international students as well, and also greater penetration of dual credit, because we really see that as an area of growth for us. But in terms of international, we had our first student ever go to China last year, which was amazing for us. And I also was part of the group that went to Cuba last February. The Illinois Community College Board took some presidents down to Cuba to look at that exchange. For the very same reason, could we have students come here, or could we have faculty or staff go back and forth as well with the cultural experiences?
Rob mentioned dual credit. You've taken that a step further at Carl Sandburg. How is that working out, or has that even started?
It will start this fall. Yes, we have. We have one of our high schools, Abingdon Avon, who we have embedded an associate degree into the high school. So those students who are prepared and ready can begin as juniors, and when they graduate from high school, they have the potential to graduate with an associate degree as well.
And for those that don't understand, how does that work? Because you want kids to come to your school, and now you're saying we've got an embedded program and they won't even come to our school.
They might not come to our school, but they're our students because we're providing the credit for it. We're providing the college educations. They're still our students, but they're not on campus. And so higher education is changing. There's a paradigm shift going on. And it's probably one of the greatest changes in higher ed's history that we're actually in right now. And education is changing. The delivery of education is changing. So we're excited about it. We'll see what happens. It's very exciting. The parents are excited. The students are excited. So we'll see.
Are you going to, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think as we look at dual credit, it is a significant opportunity. It fits for us when we talk about all of our missions focused on persistence and completion of our students. So basically, we want to see how do we make our students or help them be more successful. And reaching into the high school and into dual credit programs, we have some that work both ways. We have dual credit where we extend into the high school, and then we also have the students that come to us in their senior year, which is called our Strong Start program. We all have different names for these. But that extension back into the high school also helps because of the challenge we have with underprepared students. So how do we reach into the high school, help fill that gap to prepare the students better so they're ready and college ready when they come to us. So we're looking at partnerships throughout our district and with our superintendents in our high schools to say, how can we get in and help with any remediation at that point versus having that student wait until they come to us to start that remediation process. So it really lends to their success, builds confidence, and then also builds a transcript where they have coming into school with a transcript, and now they have the options where the students don't have to take as heavy a load when they do come to us or when they transfer on. And they can tend to be more successful because they don't have to take 15 or 18 hours. They might start with 12 hours and be very successful those 12 hours when they come to high school or come to college. And that just makes that transition even more efficient.
But if I read this correctly, it sounds like there's going to be fewer hours of students spent on community college campus, especially in the embedded program.
Certainly.
So with stagnant enrollment, at least right now there is, might we have too much square footage?
Well, in our case, probably not, because we're the newest community college, and we've been challenged for space throughout our history, trying to accommodate. Whereas some of my other colleagues, we're celebrating 25 years this year, whereas others are maybe twice that much time with community college education in Illinois. So I think we do have to be conscious, however, of making the most efficient use of our space that we have so that we do not have to look at down the road, in our case particularly, of needing to expand space in the face of, as you say, a stagnant enrollment or a leveling off of our enrollment. And we're, as a younger college, we have been fortunate that we have continued to grow. When some of our colleague institutions were declining, we were still growing. And we were actually coming out of decline a little bit before others, and I think that's probably as much a demographic of our particular community. But we hope we have managed our space very appropriately at this point, and I know my colleagues have other challenges over the years.
In terms of building space?
Yes, we have actually kind of transitioned 3 buildings within our district. And the model in the 90s for large districts, and our district is large. I like to tell people our district is larger than the state of Delaware. It covers all or part of 10 counties and 3,000 square miles. So we have 2 other campuses, and we had other buildings. And so our extension center is a small center in Bushnell, about 42 miles from the main campus. Has not had a face-to-face class there for 2 years. What we do in that community, we do a lot of dual credit and we do a lot of online. And so what was end up happening is that that facility was just being used as a computer lab. And it's much too large of a square footage and it's much too expensive to use for a computer lab. So we're going to transition away from that and take those resources that we are using on brick and mortar and try to get them back into the community. In Carthage, we had 2 other buildings there that were not related to our branch campus there. One was an auditorium and one was a shared building, and we have actually gifted the auditorium to the city, and the other building we actually sold. And again, it is directly related to trying to be much more efficient, trying to manage our facilities and our resources in a very prudent manner. The taxpayers expect us to do that. And higher ed is changing. The whole delivery of higher education is changing. So we're trying to respond to that.
Rob, you mentioned that you're in a little bit different position, but you have campuses in Pontiac and Lincoln,
right,
as well as Bloomington Normal.
Correct, yeah.
How is Pontiac and how is Lincoln doing?
Pontiac has been a very strong facility for us, and we actually did recently expanded that facility. So we've gone a little bit the different direction there because of the population base there, and then we have seen students start there and then come to the Bloomington Normal campus, so it's a good starter point for us, and it feeds numbers in Bloomington Normal then. Lincoln is more of a challenge for us. That's been a site that physically it hasn't been the best site for us from a physical structure perspective. We've explored other options in Lincoln, but we'll continue to assess that and look at opportunities there. We've been working very hard with the high school there to expand opportunities and really tap that market as effectively as we can. So Lincoln continues to be more of a challenge for us at this point than Pontiac does.
And Bruce, over at ICC, you've got campuses, East Peoria, the main campus,
Sure.
North Campus in Peoria, downtown Peoria still, and Pekin. And we know that East Peoria and North Peoria are fairly vibrant.
Sure.
Downtown, you are going to close?
Yes, downtown, we're actually consolidating those buildings. Our health career programs are downtown, our dental hygiene program. So we were in the need of remodeling that space because we'd been in that location for about 20 years. So as we were transitioning, we knew we had capacity at the North Campus. So by consolidating those operations to the North Campus, we can provide a full-service campus experience for those students at the North Campus, similar to East Peoria, but as a smaller footprint. So we'll lessen our footprint by about 60 or 70,000 square feet. So really, it essentially then giving us an operational savings about $500,000 a year in operating costs, so a benefit there. We're evaluating our presence in Pekin. We have a leased facility there, working with the local folks there, as well as the districts in the southern part of our district. So there's a number of school districts south of the Pekin location to say what services and what should we be providing there, and can we still maintain it as a viable and vibrant campus location.
Well, let's talk about what services should be provided, because you have a boundary and you're supposed to serve those students to the best of your ability, but in reality, you can't provide everything to every student. So have you looked at, for instance, there's a diesel mechanic program at ICC. I think you both have dental hygienist programs. I don't know that
We do not.
Yeah.
No,
And so might there be agreements, or are there already agreements, where you send students to another, or students come from another one because you have the specialty here and you have the specialty there?
Yeah, there's an answer to that question is yes, on several different levels. There's already a cooperative agreement among the community colleges for programs that are specific. So say, for example, our dental hygiene, it already has seats for other community colleges that they want to access. So that's already on the table. But one other way that we're trying to do things now in light of the challenges we face is how can we provide those programs in our district that we can't start. An example for us was truck driving. Truck driving programs are very expensive to start, and yet we had 2 employers in our community that needed truck drivers. And so I called Spoon River and said, they have a program. What would be the chances of you coming over and actually offering it over here in my district for these employers? And they, of course, said that they would. But I can tell you those kinds of conversations weren't going on 10 years ago. Even, they just weren't, because we were all trying to manage our own districts. But now we're all looking out to our other colleagues to say, how can we do this in a very cost-effective way? And we don't need truck driving every semester, but we do certainly probably need it once a year, at least for some period of time. And so that was a great solution for us.
Same thing for you?
Yeah, we're in a situation where, as the newest college, we have, our initial emphasis was in transfer programs, but also supplementing those with career technical programs. But we've been very judicious in which career technical programs we have started up over the years, and relied on our neighboring community colleges for the diesel mechanics or the dental hygiene, because those are very expensive to get started, and it didn't make sense for us to put that capital investment in starting those areas. And so our students have the opportunity to go to our neighboring institutions and secure those programs there as necessary through cooperative agreements. And one of the things that we're doing in some of our career technical programs, particularly in the health careers, is trying to leverage those core courses that might cut across all the health career programs. And if you get a large enough critical mass that are nursing students or physical therapy students or radiography students can take all of those core courses, that gains us, we talk about efficiencies, you gain the efficiencies and the economies of scale, so to speak, at those core courses that all the health careers take. And then as your numbers get smaller, as you move into physical therapist assistant or radiography, or you get into the associate degree nursing programs, then you can run the smaller classes because you've had the economies of scale across those core courses. So
Let's go back to the money issue. I want to talk a little bit about some of the changes that have occurred there, especially with regard to your sources of income are not just the state. You have a property tax that you have to worry about. You have tuition that you have to worry about. Tuition went up at all 3 of your colleges for this
Yes.
coming season?
Yes.
yes.
And property taxes, that went up at ICC, Bruce?
Property tax, as we exercise the opportunity to take advantage of supplemental kind of equalization tax rate, if you will, in the operating rate. So our rate did go up for this year. And again, anticipating some of the shortfalls from the state side, and then trying to lessen to some extent the burden to tuition as well. So we take a longer range view of all those funding sources, looking 3 to 5 years out, trying to identify how we manage those resources, trying to keep the tax rate as level and flat as we can, managing whatever types of increases we might see in district assessed valuation. And that's kind of the challenge we face now as well. As Lloyd pointed out, we have declining student populations. We also have assessed valuation declines or leveling off in all of our districts as well. And that can create some challenges because then that might minimize the access to tax dollars as well.
Was there a property tax rate increase at Heartland?
We had a slight increase, fraction of a cent to a cent, I think. But again, it's as Bruce suggests, the idea of trying to manage your overall revenue streams. Our tax base is, our tax revenues, in our case, are about 47% of our operating revenues come from property taxes. Or pardon me, that's tuition. Taxes are about 37%, 38%. And those percentages have changed over the years as the state revenue stream has deteriorated for us and declined for us. And it's trying to look to the future and say, how do we position ourselves to be on solid ground when, particularly now when the state is unpredictable, to say the least, and lacking confidence in what will the state funding look like long term, and trying to be conscious of what our tuition is, and trying to remain affordable for our students and not wanting to continue to raise tuition. And how do we draw that balance?
Briefly, was there a tax increase in the rate?
There wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, we refinanced some bonds to keep it flat. Our board's been committed to a flat rate. And so when we were able to capture more equity tax, then we had to lower the bond levy.
All three of you, your role is to educate students. That's the bottom line. What impact has the state financial constraint put on your services to students? Have you eliminated extracurriculars? Have you dropped programs? Anything of that nature that has impacted students? And I'm not talking about MAP grants yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a fact. For us, the commitment and the focus, and we talked about this with our board and the leadership team, not to do anything that's going to compromise what's happening in the classroom or those wraparound services. So we don't want to do anything to compromise the quality of what we're delivering to our students, because that's our first focus. So having said that, and again, our discussion, we talk about optimizing revenues. What we try to do is be as efficient as possible with the resources we have. So what types of cost savings can we look to bring to the table that's not going to take anything away from the classroom, so we can just keep that priority in the classroom. And so you look at the outside areas. How do you become more efficient with how you manage your facilities? How do you manage open positions, if you will? If you have, through attrition as people leave us, through retirement or other means, looking critically at that position to say, do we really need to fill that? Do we put that position on hold? So on the short term, we have not seen any negative impacts. We had some issues with our GED courses because of not receiving the state funding there. We're still offering the same number of courses, but we consolidated sites. So we don't have as many extension sites for GED courses, but we brought those internal. So our commitment is really not to compromise anything that's happened in the classroom.
I don't want to cut you short on the conversation in that regard, but I wanted to get to MAP funding, and we're running out of time. What have you done with regard to MAP funding for students? Real briefly.
MAP funding for our students, fall semester, we actually covered that in anticipation of the funding coming. We were optimistic at that point. As we got to spring semester, we said we're not as optimistic and we cannot continue to fund this, so the students were on their own.
Lori and then Bruce?
Same as Heartland.
And
Same basic process, yeah.
so that has not deterred students from coming to school yet, the lack of MAP funding.
I wouldn't say that. I think there's probably some students that we don't know about that it did affect. We tried to reach out to every student that was going to be affected by it, but you just don't know. I'm sure there has been some that just really faced financial challenges that they couldn't get past.
And I would echo that, because I think that's something that's hard to quantify, that impact to that individual student, because those dollars go towards other things, food and transportation and other items that are going to help them be successful in the classroom and at school.
There's so much more we need to talk about, and we're going to have to do that off camera because we've run out of our allotted time for this particular conversation. I want to say thank you to
Thank
Dr.
you.
Lori Sundberg of
been a
Carl
pleasure.
Sandburg College in Galesburg, to Bruce Buddy, the interim president at Illinois Central College, and to Rob Widmer, who is the president of Heartland Community College over in Bloomington Normal. Thank you all three for the conversation. We'll be back next week with another edition of At Issue. This time we're going to be talking about small towns, Williamsfield and Manitou in particular, and there's a program out of Western Illinois University that helps those towns find a future. We'll talk about that next time on At Issue.